travelers of life. Welcome to the Tales of Elliot. I'm Elliot. Today I wanted to talk about fibromyalgia and expectations. It's funny, I actually had a different idea I had planned for this video, but I felt this one was kind of more important, at least at this moment. As you can see, my bed is not made by me and whatnot, and well, that's due to having too much expectation of what I could handle this week. My schedule's been changing and I've been doing a lot more physical activity, which, yes, is very good, and our bodies do need physical activity, but doing too much and too much consistently can really mess someone up who has fibro. I remember when I was first diagnosed with fibro and people still saw me as Elliot without fibro, and so their perception of me didn't change even though I had, in a sense. So they still expected me to have super high energy levels and be positive all the time. Like, it took people off guard that I suddenly had days where I wasn't happy, and I didn't hide it. I didn't do anything to mitigate that. And it was just so interesting to see how people were like, nope, Elliot is positive, who's always willing to help, like have all these things. And then I suddenly could not meet that expectation at all. I remember it hit really hard when I just physically couldn't do things anymore, because even to myself, I hadn't accepted that I was different. In my head, it was like, no, I can still do A, B, C, D, E, and F. Like, what do you mean I suddenly can only do A, B, and C without feeling crummy and dying and wanting to curl up in a little ball and cry? Like, what? That shouldn't be a thing. But it was. And it took me a very long time to come to terms with that yeah, my limits are much closer and I can hit them so much more easily. I remember one of the most terrifying things is one time I was home alone and I'd sat down on the floor because I like sitting on the floor. I don't know why. None of my siblings really do, but I do. And I physically couldn't get back up. I physically could not will my muscles to move to get me to stand up. And I remember just sitting there and kind of crying because it hurt so much. And I couldn't get up. I couldn't do anything. And the reason I was like that is because I had done yard work. I had done raking leaves, which to the average person, yeah, they might be sore. Yeah, they might be tired. But you can still do things afterwards. And I was still new in my diagnosis and learning what I could and couldn't do. And it was too much for me. And I ended up not being able to get up. Thankfully, it didn't last very long. Didn't last forever, but those moments, those minutes of just being super helpless sucked. It wasn't fun, and thankfully though, there are still some days where my muscles will be super weak and I actually can't get up. And I've actually learned different techniques to get up, because in that memory when I was trying to get up, I was trying to do a forward motion and kind of like willpower where you use all of the thighs and momentum, and I just could not generate the momentum. And so I've learned through trial and error and is that basically I kind of have to roll to my knees and then have my hands on the floor, and then I can push off, and then using that momentum I can stand, because it's a different type of momentum than if you're just trying to go up without the use of the hands. So I've learned through the years that A, I got to lower my expectations, but B, it is okay to use different techniques to do stuff. Physically, like, yes, I'm closer to where I was before I got diagnosed with fibro, but I'll probably never be quite as strong as I once was, and that is okay. Yeah, No, it's hard when people expect you to be able to do what you could do before, and now you can't, and they don't understand. In most cases, they just think you're being lazy, that you don't want to do it, and it's like, no, I would love to be able to help you move or to help you do this. But if I help you do that, then I may feel crummy, may feel like I'm sick, like I just, for 3 days where I just feel achy and hot and whatnot, and it's like, I'm not sick, but I don't feel good. And that can be really hard to make decisions of like, okay, what should I do? What can I do? And, not to mention, when you do, like, if someone does get diagnosed, not everyone sticks by you. There were definitely some people who, like, once they saw me and saw my limitations, kind of were like, toodaloo. And that's hard. Like, good in the long run because they're probably don't have your best interests at heart, but also hard to have that relationship just crack and splinter and fade away. Thankfully, there are people out there who can see that decline and still want to be there for you. I have. Woo. Best part about Fibro is Brain is just like, yes, here are the words. And I'm just gonna not say them correctly. And it's just like, but why? That is unhelpful. Continuing on, I do have a friend who saw the decline and whatnot, and not only stayed my friend and is still one of my best friends to this day, but also made it so that I can still hang out and spend time with her. Because one of the things with Fibro is when you're constantly declining invitations because A, you don't feel good, or B, that would be expending too much energy and you need to save some for something else, you can end up saying no. And some people, when they hear no often enough, will then just stop inviting the person with Fibro out to spend time with them. And one of the best things my friend did is she would continuously ask me, like, it didn't matter how many times I said no before, she would continually ask me and would understand that, like, yeah, I might not be able to do it, and she was okay with that. But she desired to spend time with me, so she would keep asking. And then in addition, she would also make sure we would do things that I could physically do. And in addition to that, gold stars over here for her. In addition to that, she would be like, cool, I'm gonna take care of all the logistical stuff. I'm gonna take care of everything. So if we need to drive somewhere, she would drive. Like, anything that needed to be taken care of, she would take care of it. The only thing she expected from me was that I saved energy for the trip so that I could spend energy with her, and B, I prepped my own food so I could feel the best that I could at that time and spend time with her. Yeah, allies. Be like that example. Like, give the support that someone with Fibro needs, because we're still human and we're trying our best with the hand we've been dealt, which isn't the best hand. Constant pain really sucks and hurts, but we fight each day to enjoy it. Those are my 2 cents on Fibro and expectations. I hope this gave you some insight. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I post on Thursdays. See you next week. Bye.